Hello, it's Gary Keith. Thank you for joining us tonight on Observer Live. Joining us, we have candidate for City Council, Rocky Romano. Is it junior?
Second.
Oh, man. I'll call you junior. I'm the second, too.
It's all right. I do not like the junior thing.
I should have looked that up before we started talking.
And then while we're starting, too, Gary, so this comes out all the time. I say my name the right way, and most of my family says it the wrong way.
Okay.
When I was 15, I went to Italy. So I got to say this because some people might think I'm stuck up. It's Romano.
You're like Ray.
Yes.
Ray Romano.
Yes. But everyone's like, the rest of your family doesn't say it like that. And I said, well, they say it the wrong way. So go to Italy and you'll get made fun of.
So I guess the best place for us to start is give me a little bit about who is Rocky. Obviously, we know your dad, great county politician over the years, great friend of mine. I think he did an awesome job, everything he ever did. So that's points for you right away.
Yeah,
I always got points for who my dad was. You get some points for who your dad is.
I'll take it. He's a hustler, and he's definitely a slave driver and a good treasurer and campaign manager. So
is he telling you what to do?
Oh man, I had some other candidates, and they're like, man, I wish I had a dad like that. He won't even let you sit down.
Right?
I'm like, I can't even finish my dinner somewhere. And I'm like, Dad, I talk to everybody. Just let me eat my food.
I was telling Rocky before we came on camera that his dad coached me when I was running for magistrate and was telling me, like, where the hot dog sales were and things like that, where to go get votes.
He's not even running and he doesn't miss anything. So
he would also give me crap when I wasn't somewhere. He's like, why weren't you in Wallace yesterday? He's like, well.
He's like, did you talk to everyone? I said, yes, I talked to everybody. I always want to meet everybody. So
tell me about you. I really don't even know Rocky. Like, this is the first time we met. So
yeah.
Let's get into your personal story here.
So born and raised here in Clarksburg. Graduate of RCB High School. I've always been interested, in leadership, politics. Student body president there. Later went on to Wesleyan and took some leadership roles there. And then I thought about going into politics at like a very early age, and decided like I just wanted real world experience, and it was something to probably do like later in life. So I actually worked, won't say the name, but for a congressman in DC for a 6-month internship. And really saw like the good, the bad, and the ugly. And one thing I'll say that was kind of crazy to me was, when you complain or you call in, they pretty much send you a form letter. So I hate to tell everyone that like a 20-year-old was just sending you just a generic letter that was getting stamped. So, it wasn't really how I dreamed the process went. And then from there, I moved away for a few years for a pharmaceutical job, got to come back here and work at Target for 3 years as a manager, and then was gone for almost 15 years. And I say that, and I think that's important. I never wanted to move. So I think I'm the perfect example of like some of the things you've talked about with some of the other candidates. Like there's just not, if you're not a lawyer or in healthcare or working at the FBI, there's not a lot of high paying jobs
or government employee.
There we go. So, I was fortunate enough through, some business things that I've done and through sales to come back here. And I've always been passionate. I've been involved with the Italian Festival, even when I lived away, and still highly involved with Immaculate Conception, where I go to church, and just really felt, the calling now after being back here for a couple of years.
Me and you actually have a lot in common. So I moved away for 10 years and went to Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. You understand that.
I was a manager at Walmart.
Hey, wow. I'd say we're learning something together. And if you can survive retail, you can survive anything, right, Gary?
We have a natural hate for each other. Maybe you were a Target manager. I don't know. I actually started as a operations manager at Kmart. That was my path.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm old school.
You probably know my Uncle Jeff DeQuina, his brother just passed away. Did you work with Tim?
I never worked anybody here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't here when you were at Kmart. Okay.
No, I worked at Walmart here. I actually made it all the way to electronics department.
Okay.
And I was like the top person in the electronics department. And like, I think it was 98 or 99, they got Super Center of the Year, and I got a ring. And that ring got me through so many doors in retail. Whenever I went to work for Kmart, I went down North Carolina. I walked into my first interview and I was like, look at this Super Center of the Year.
Well, I was going to say, I think, wasn't it the highest grossing Walmart in the entire country? I remember my dad telling me, and I was like, I bet those managers got some big bonuses and some payouts.
Probably still would be if they didn't build Weston and Fairmont.
Yeah.
It was all that one time.
Drawing from it.
It was all that. So let's not talk about retail. That's not what you're here for.
It's all right.
So you originally planned to run for House of Delegates. I already know, but let's tell the people why you changed your mind about that.
Yeah, I mean, so after being back, I think, people knew that I had a background. I had this internship. I always had like a calling and, had taken leadership roles. And I had people approach me for a number of different things that they wanted me to run for. And, unhappy about a lot of things. And I think, Gary, a lot of things are a domino effect. Like the city can't fix everything. The city council only has so much power, so much time, and so much money. So after being back for a short amount of time, we were blessed. My wife became pregnant, and then we found out it was twins. Whew. So I did the math, and I'm like, even if I win, they're going to be about 7 months old, and I could be in Charleston for 2 or 3 months. And I've always been very busy, worked multiple jobs, but that was too much to ask of my wife to like actually not be home, every evening.
I seriously considered running for that a couple times too, and I just can't imagine going down there for that long.
It's a lot. I mean, you got a little kid, and it's just it's hard.
Rough. It really is.
They're not going to really understand, like, why is dad not home for, weeks on end?
So we have kind of similar backgrounds, which is funny, but it sounds like you were pretty successful in Virginia Beach. Like, that's such a cool place. I actually go on vacation there. It seems like not very many people from West Virginia actually go to Virginia Beach, which I think is weird. I love it. I think it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How the heck did you come back? That's the question.
It's crazy too. I'll answer the first part first. It's close. I mean, Ocean City, Maryland is a little bit closer, but it's closer than Myrtle, and it's just so nice. So we were on the bay. I didn't know anyone there. I went there for a medical device job for a cardiology company that I worked for. It was great, and made some really good friends, and we still have them. We still have a place there that we're renting out. And
cool.
I met my wife a month after she moved from DC there. So Virginia Beach was good to me. And it was actually my wife's idea to come back, not mine. And a lot of people don't know this story. And she grew up in Northern Virginia. So I was like, you know what? Even if I ever had that idea, I was like, it's too much to ask her to come back here. And I think it was Thanksgiving around the last time my dad was running. And she was like, every time we go somewhere, like you run into someone or someone's giving you a hug or these people I don't even know, like have seen my picture on Facebook. And she was like, I think it's just nice to like have that community. So
it's different.
She goes, let's think about moving back. So just to show everyone the sense of urgency I act with, I'll give myself a little plug. In 2 weeks, we decided to move. There was a house in my parents' neighborhood that was up for Joe Pyle auction. We got approved, decided to get it, closed on the house in 2 weeks. And now I'm back here.
We have a weird amount of things in common. It's so weird because I did almost the same thing. The only difference I'll tell you is my dad, I was just in visiting and we went to a Joe Pyle auction over on Elm Street and he bought me the house. He's like, I want you to move back. I'm buying this house. It was like a great deal. It was one of those deals where like nobody showed up. Joe Pyle auctions are never like that now. They're
I'll tell you what,
now.
Mine was not.
Yeah, they're competitive now.
I probably paid a premium. It probably would have been cheaper to buy it through a real estate agent.
Yeah, so. This one there was like 3 people there. And my dad's crazy. He's bought multiple houses at auctions. He's like, I'm buying this. Hey,
I'm a big auction guy, so my wife gets mad at me sometimes. But I get some good deals. So you got to be thrifty these days.
Well, that's the thing. If you're there at the right time, you can make a lot.
It was more fun when I was younger. I don't know if you ever went to the estate sales in person.
Yes.
That was like you could get great deals. Now that it's online and the apps, like the prices are like really, really high.
Sometimes it was good and sometimes it wasn't. We actually used to go, Joe Pyle used to do all theirs to Armory at one time.
I remember those. I remember those.
Armory and sell the house separate.
I remember.
And we went to some there, sometimes it'd be really, everything was cheap. And then sometimes everyone was competitive and they'd be selling like broken toasters for like $30.
There's certain things like, any auction where there's guns, it's like everything. Even the stuff that's not a gun is like gold through the roof. Yes.
There's gold coins.
100%.
People are going to go crazy.
100.
So you obviously had like an emotional and family connections and things like that. So we're kind of getting into Clarksburg stuff here. What makes Clarksburg worth returning to?
I don't want to sound cliche, but it really is the people. Because let's face it, if I'm being honest, I had 10 breweries within walking distance of my house on the Chesapeake Bay. I had this beach and the sand there. I'm not saying that to gloat. It's just, it's still not the same. And I know I'm probably blessed because it's different. And I don't think that every resident in Clarksburg has it, having a big family. And I've been involved myself for a number of years, but it's just nice to be able to go and run into people that you care about. Where like I knew a lot of people in Virginia Beach, but like I could be invisible if I wanted to. And
Right.
I can't here.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. So
Right.
I don't know.
Right. You definitely can't be invisible here. Like you just said, my wife was actually at Sam's the other day, and I have like 3,000 Facebook friends. So she's going through Sam's. I'm not even with her. And this lady sees Mason. He's like, "Oh, you're Gary Keeson." I can't believe somebody noticed him from pictures. Like this woman, she's like, this woman started talking to me. She told me to say hello to you. It's like she recognized him on Facebook. That's crazy.
Listen, you're talking about having stuff in common. I don't know if it was like one of my parents' friends, but literally this person like names my 7-week-old twins, like Hal Santiago and Stallone. I still don't know who this woman is. I still have no clue. No clue. I told my wife, I was like, I guess our twins are famous. Total strangers coming up to me asking me about the
people
babies
remember
by
twins too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not very many twins, so that's
There's
kind of
not.
a
I was
memorable
like,
thing.
they're definitely going to be the Romano twins. They're just going to be famous.
So you've worked in healthcare, operations, business development, management. Like, is it a combination of all, or which one of those prepares you best for city council?
I think it's a combination of all. I mean, especially the sales jobs, that I've had recently. It's that drive for results. Like it's a high stress job. You're working off a quota.
Sure.
You have, KPIs, key performance indicators. And if I hit it, I make a lot of money. If I don't, I get fired. And I said it, some of them meet the candidates. So I think some of that should be replicated, and it should be replicated if I win as a councilman. If I'm not hitting those key performance indicators, then you get rid of me, and that should be for supervisors, et cetera, and just holding everybody accountable.
You're not going to like government, Rocky. I can already tell you're too much like me, because I totally acted like a retail manager when I started there. The first thing I did in the first couple weeks that I was there, I got a notepad and walked all the way down Main and Pike and wrote down everything that needed fixed, just like I would in a Walmart.
Hey, managers, you have to do.
So mad at me.
You have to do your rounds. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I made a list. It was great.
But like, how do you have?
And you're talking about like performance indicators.
You have to know.
There's so many floaters. There really is.
I don't even know like where to start with everything. But I'll start with because I brought it up in one of the Meet the Candidates. The city's plan, and it's been joked about that. Oh, we spent this money on it, we didn't use it. But like, you have to have a gauge. Like, and I want a progress bar. And I was thinking about it the other night. Like, United Way has their little like thing they do for fundraising.
That's awesome.
Like, how do we know where we're at? Like, it's very easy for myself running or any of the incumbents or anyone on council or any politician for that matter to say, oh, we're working on this. At the end of the day, nobody cares. People want to know, like, show me what happened, show me what you've done, and show me results. Like, talk is cheap.
And there are things that I was very passionate about. They're still working on right now.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I'm not faulting anyone that's on there right now. More than anyone, Gary. Like, it takes 4 votes. I can collaborate and work with anyone.
It's very.
I just want to like hold people accountable. And the other thing too is, like I was saying before we started, on air, is everything is not. It's too big for even Clarksburg. So I've made a point at every event I've been at. Not just our delegates, our senators, Republican, Democrat, but even our U.S. representatives that have been there, like telling them, like, you are not going to forget Clarksburg, because at the end of the day, we need state money. Like, you've talked to some of the people that were here, and like, there's certain numbers I've got from talking to people. I think there's $750 million of the opioid money.
Is there still that much?
Yes.
That's what I just talked about that with Jackson last night, actually. Like, that money has to be somewhere, because I knew how much we got. And it sure hasn't come to Harrison County.
I mean, I went to school for a long time. I'm not a rocket scientist, but even the interest on $750 million, if you gave it to every single city in West Virginia, that's still a huge chunk of money.
And that's only a piece
earning
of it.
4%. You're like, that's so much money.
We got a ton of the ARPA money too. And, Clarksburg got a big piece of that, and they still have a lot of it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to spend it all until 29.
Yeah, I've asked a lot of questions. The last number I got was, I think we have $850,000.
Ooh, I thought it was more than that.
So
okay.
I don't know. It was open. There's so many acronyms. So.
There are a lot of them. Well, because we got COVID money, and then we got infrastructure money, and then we got opioid money. And I think we haven't even got all the opioid money yet.
I believe how it's structured is they only give out so much. And I'm not sure. And I need to do more research on like who on the state level is controlling that. And that's like, the other thing I said too, and I don't want to, I was told I was hard on certain people at some of the events that I went to. I won't mention any names, but like what I want to do is have all of these delegates once a year, if I'm elected council, to come, and I'm going to ask them one question. What did you do and what money did you bring to Clarksburg?
The way that District 70 especially is set up now, I don't care who wins it. You got 4 people running for it. They're all pretty good, I think. Whoever wins that, like the last one was not great, but I think we should try to almost integrate that person into council. I mean, nothing against Nutter Fort, but it's mostly a Clarksburg seat. Like they should have a chair there over on where the police sit or something. Like just give them a chair and put a thing there and tell them they're expected to be there. Yeah. If they don't show up, they'll look bad. I mean, their nameplate will be there. And if they don't show up, it's like, ooh, where are they at?
I think one of the things that hurt us and we lost some really good candidates is when they did the redistricting or whatever you want to call it, where like it was better when we just had 5 and you could vote and it didn't matter, where you lived.
Kind of agree, but I like having that attached person.
It is nice because they know if you have the right person, but it's not when we've had some of these people who just, you know.
But just like I talked about with Jackson last night what about when we had Romano?
Hey, Mike says it.
What about when we had Mike and Tim Miley in there? I mean, that was a whole different ballgame. Like we got what we wanted then. Like we were running the show at that time. Harrison County was up here. We weren't.
You have to know who to call. And, I tell everyone, like, there's a lot of good candidates right now. I think one skill set is I do talk to a lot of people and I know who to call. Like, and I think sometimes it's not the smartest person. It's not the person who's the most aggressive or the loudest. It's like, do you know who to call? Do you know who the right person is to make stuff happen? Either.
It's not always like calling the government. It might be calling the head of the DOH garage.
And it might be, and honestly, it might not be the supervisor. It might be the secretary that's been there for 40 years who really knows who to call and who has the power.
There are always people that can get things done.
Amen to that.
Who are they is the question. Hopefully you're related to someone. So you've already managed large budgets and teams and things like that. What bad habits do governments have that businesses can't afford, so you already know how to avoid?
I just think you can't operate at a loss. So I think it's really just like trimming the fat. And I haven't, I'm not privy to everything yet. Obviously, hopefully I win and I can see everything. And you don't know, my grandma always say, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. So I'm not judging anything or anyone until I get in there. But I think really just operating it like a business, and if someone's not performing, you get rid of them. If something is wasteful spending, then you get rid of it and you use that money for things that would help and benefit the city.
I'll tell you what, Rocky, I'll be your Paul Harvey. Because I have a memory like an elephant and I remember everything and know a lot about the city. So if you want the rest of the story, right. Hopefully I don't have too young a crowd. That was probably a bad reference.
That probably went over a lot of people's heads there.
So the rest of the story, you text me and I'll give it to you. We'll
I had to take a lot of history classes.
We'll text on Snapchat or something so it disappears.
Sounds good.
So getting into public safety, you kind of headed that direction a little bit there. I saw the firefighters endorsed you, which actually surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because you're kind of a newcomer, I'd say that probably they must know you personally, somebody there, because they usually kind of go with incumbents, which was just kind of funny to me. So police and firefighters, like, is it just because you've been answering the right questions? Like, how'd you get in there?
I think one thing was not everyone came to the meeting that the city workers had and the firefighters. They gave us a questionnaire and, I was honest. I did my research and I do know some of the firefighters and I just asked them questions, kind of like what's bothering them. And some of the stuff to me was like common sense. The police seem to be a little bit more content and you're more connected to that than I am. But the firefighters are not happy right now. They
have that whole stupid lawsuit going on and I hope that's over soon.
Yeah, I do too. And, the crazy thing though, Gary, is that's not what they were bringing up. I mean, some of it was like pay parity with the police, but a couple things I've learned and that are really going to be, and I told them I am going to stand up for you. They haven't had anything where like they're going. I want to talk to like the boots on the ground in front of council. Like the chief is there, but they're not there.
Sure.
So a couple things they brought up to me. They have a lot of outdated equipment in their actual uniforms. But then some folks that I've talked to are like, oh, we obviously support them. And I'm like, all right, well, 2 + 2 isn't equaling 4 here. And then another huge thing. And I'm like, this doesn't sound right. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I was told that Bridgeport has a training budget 3 times greater than Clarksburg. And Clarksburg does not have a safety officer anymore. And we're one of the only ones. So there's someone that's supposed to be completely done for safety and training.
Huh. Well, that's
so there's so many things that came up. I don't remember the acronym too, but there's like a federal guideline of how many people are supposed to be on shift. And from being retail, like we talked about,
ISO.
Like your overhead is so high, right? But we're operating lower. So like, God forbid something would happen, like the city's going to be liable. You're going to have a good attorney. And I worry about, we still have my grandmother's house in Glen Elk. You have a Glen Elk, you have a Staley, you have a Northview. If there's a big fire, thank God it rained the night they just had the fire in Locust, but like if it's one of these bigger neighborhoods, we're all in trouble. Right?
And let me tell you, when I was on council, actually, we greatly increased how many guys we had. It used to be much, much worse.
So what they had told me
because
was
Harry loved the fire department.
I think the count is where it needs to be, but there's not enough people per shift. And I don't know how the math works, and I'm not privy to that. But I mean, I think when you had to go back to your question, like they endorsed me because I get a little too passionate, a little too angry. I think you do too sometimes, from what I've seen.
Way too much.
And
that's why I'm not
I just ask a lot of questions, and it's not saying that anyone's doing a bad job. But like when you have these people who put their lives at risk, and like I'm very close with my family, I'm close with some of the firefighters, and I think like, my gosh, if something would happen to them, they leave their kids without a father or without a mother. Like we need to protect those folks. And if there's not enough money too, like I'll use some of my skill sets if people decide to elect me, and even if I'm not, like that I've done for the Italian Festival and other nonprofits. I was thinking the other day, like there's so much money at the Holly Ball for, United Hospital Center for the hospital. I'm like, it's nice, but the hospital already has money. I'm like, why couldn't we just do one of these fancy events and get huge companies like Steptoe and Johnson to write these big checks? And we could easily raise $1 million for our firefighters, I bet, through private money even. So like, there's always a way.
Wow. That's interesting thinking. I know they probably hated it when I left council because I always had the attitude to just give them what they want. And it was hard for me to get people to vote with me sometimes. And even public works, like I was probably not the best budget guy, but they really got screwed over the years. I mean, I don't know if you know, but we just recently got them from the time I was there to now. Some of these guys did it this last council, 3 new trucks. Like before that,
and the people I've talked to,
they're
very happy about that, but there's still like other things. So I like question too when you see, and I'm not talking about the people I'm running against, like all of council. Everyone's saying like they support, and I'm like, well, why am I hearing that they don't have what they need? Like so. Sometimes and that's what I say. I've been at these things like putting the feet to the fire. I'm going to be like, well, you've said that. But I'm talking to the actual boots on the ground, and they're telling me they don't have what they need. So there's a breakdown somewhere.
It's because some people are all about the budget. And, when every single person you talk to, public safety is the number one thing they bring up. I don't know. We got to cut the budget somewhere else.
If my house is on fire, if my kid's drowning in the Elk Creek, who's coming? The firefighters are coming. Just
like when I first got on council, we had like 20 some cops, and we didn't have a K-9 unit. We had nobody on the drug task force. It was all about the budget, and it just had went to hell at one point.
But there's other ways to cut. There's other ways to cut.
Yeah.
Like cut administrative. Don't cut the firemen.
Thank God for Chief Kidd.
Don't cut the police. Yes.
We have some really good
job. We have some really good people.
And the fire department's spectacular. I hate to be like of the attitude of giving whatever they want, but maybe not whatever they want.
Within reason.
They need.
I mean, everybody, myself included, if I'm on council, like you should have oversight.
You can't be stupid about it.
Within reason, for sure.
I hate to ever hear them asking for like something like air packs. Like, my God, really? Like, we're really making them ask for that.
Well, it was just like someone was like, we have some really old uniforms. And I'm like, okay, I understand maybe we don't need to, maybe we could buy the mid-tier truck and not the most expensive one. But like some of those things, like, okay, you should probably have a new helmet.
So I had like 2 more questions and we kind of went through all of them there. So what public safety issue do you think city leadership kind of underestimates? Did we cover that? I don't know. I kind of lost my own train of thought there.
I think we did with that. I mean, it's really, I think, like you said, the police officers, everyone's doing a good job. The firefighters are. I just think it's making sure that they have what they need. It seems like there's some breakdowns and, maybe that's not even ill will against anyone. That could just be communication errors. And, that's why I'm saying, like, I want to hear from the boots on the ground, not just the top at every level. Same thing with the city workers. You'll get a different thing if you talk to the boss versus the person.
You'll probably get a different thing for every person you talk to.
Yeah, that's probably really true, especially in Clarksburg.
Yeah, but I do think it's awesome that they endorsed you. I mean, that's a big deal.
No, I was.
The city workers could almost win you an election.
I was very.
Don't forget Public Works either. Go there and talk to those guys.
No, I did, and there wasn't a ton of them that were there, and they voiced some of the other concern. I don't know if you know my little brother. My brother Willie worked there for like a decade. So.
Oh yeah, I do.
So he's yep. So I know a lot of those guys, and I went to school with a bunch of them. So I mean, they have their own things that they're concerned about, and I've told them the same thing. Like, everyone deserves a voice, and you'll have it if I'm there. I might not always say yes. I might not be able to get 4 other councilmen to agree with me, but I'm going to at least hear you out.
Right. I mean, that's the right attitude to have. So we already kind of touched on the opioid settlement money, and you knew the amount, and it's actually much less than I thought it was. That actually makes me kind of sad. So what do you think that should be used for? Yeah, I thought it was close to $2 million.
I've got a lot of, and I want to spend some time on this. I think it's really important. There's so many different things to do. And what I've tried to do, I've gone with some other candidates, not city council, to the Circle. Have you ever heard of the program?
I have.
So the Circle was really nice. I got invited to go there. And
Is that local now?
Yeah. So they have the chapter at, I don't want to say the wrong. I think it's the Baptist church, the big one the pretty one that's by the parking garage.
Okay.
So they do it
First United Methodist.
Yeah. For a few times a week. So sorry to everyone that goes to that church. It's a beautiful church.
Methodist and Baptist, I don't think they're that far. They're not in war or anything. You're good.
Thanks for letting them do that. But no, I mean, so they gave a free lunch. They don't care if someone's rich or poor. I sat in there and I didn't talk to the executive, Michaela, that runs it. I just sat in there, and there's a lot of folks that are homeless. There's a lot of people that are on drugs there. And I learned a lot. I think it came up, when you were talking to Jackson, I didn't know that there was no men's sober living facility. So I've learned a lot. My sister.
Are we sure that's true? Because Jackson said that too, and I thought there was.
Yeah, so.
I thought the one by Notre Dame was.
So my sister is actually the COO. That one is the Phoenix Recovery House. So my sister's been on the board. A couple of her really good friends have been involved with that for a long time. And that has been really successful. And at the end of the day, nobody wants those things close to them. I go to Immaculate Conception Church, and I remember everyone around there was like, we don't want this. And I'm not saying to put these in the community, but it was an uproar. I mean, that was an uproar.
Yeah, they were very mad.
But I mean, I think.
But you know what? Looking back, even me being a 911 dispatcher, I hear nothing about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
quiet.
They're so productive. So I think that, it's a choice. Some people that are down on their luck because of drugs, it's a choice. And when I've talked to other people on council, people running other politicians, you said you were in Raleigh, right, Gary?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people that don't get out of Clarksburg, like, we really don't have a homeless situation, in my opinion. It's nothing compared. There's some unhoused.
We have in Pittsburgh.
I mean, it's crazy.
I talked about that with somebody that I did an interview with. I don't know.
I watched that.
As soon as you go across the bridge, when you get off that first exit, there's tents.
I feel like people would be like, man, we actually have it pretty well. But I think it's more of a drug problem. And I'm not someone that's, give government funds. I'd like to see, and I was talking to a buddy, and there's different legal issues you have with it, but do more work programs. Like, if we would have some sort of housing situation, where it was like a sober living, you need to work to pay for it. We always talk about cost.
Right.
Why can't those guys work for the city parks and mow the grass around the VA trail?
Gosh, man, you were thinking.
So you earn your keep for it. I mean, we had it during the Great Depression. I'm a history, political science guy. FDR is one of my favorite presidents. And I'm like, why can't we have one of these work programs?
Somebody just posted the other day that one of our bridges, I think they were talking about the Gulf Plaza Bridge, was built by one of those projects.
Yeah. I mean, people don't realize, it's kind of faded away. So sorry, I went on a tangent there, but I think
it's a great tangent.
That money needs to be, really used wisely. And I think people I'd like to see, I'm not a grant writer. I'm a good speaker. I'd like to think sometimes. I don't have the best grammar, but my sister, I think, just got a huge grant for the Phoenix Recovery House. So that money is out there. It doesn't even have to come from Clarksburg's budget because that's going to go really quick. So I would just like to see kind of out of the box thinking, and we need to really partner. I've already, talked about the legislatures, but with the county too. So with no one wanting it, like in my mind, a big kind of crazy idea my dad and I have talked about for a long time is maybe on the edge of the county, you have kind of a facility where it's like a drug rehab and you have like trainings for mechanics, HVAC, contractors.
Oh, that's cool.
If you are an addict and you get clean, but then you can't get a job and you have kids, you're just going to repeat the cycle. You're a father. I'm a father, Gary. You are not going to let your child starve.
You're 100%
so
right.
We have to find some way to create like creative solutions. And I want to see the money wisely. And then, I hate when people come back and there's always like, I'm a solution oriented person. They'll say, well, how? They can't get out there. And I'm like, well, we have Centribus. And they say, well, Centribus doesn't go there. And I'm like, well, let's make them go there. Like, it's like, makes my head want to explode sometimes.
I'll tell you a behind the music secret that not very many people know. We tried, when I was on council, 2 different times to buy pieces of property.
Okay.
And people found out that we wanted to do something like that and stopped us both times. We tried to buy the Salem Armory. And there was
I think I heard that would have been.
And there was some kind of kids home out there that closed too. I forget what it was called, but it was out in that area too.
But maybe even in town, like find a farm that nothing's around.
See, that's kind of what that was.
So nobody can complain. But I mean,
we tried that twice though. We tried to keep it quiet. But
there's small things for the money. So I'll give you an example. My sister said some of the ladies at Phoenix Recovery House, they're totally clean. Some of them don't even have records, but it's hard to get a job other than maybe like some of the fast food in East Point.
Sure.
I don't know the exact times, but I think Centra stops running at 6.
Yeah, that's right.
So if they're taking a closing shift at one of these places and it's 11, so
get home?
If you're making minimum wage, you're spending 2 hours of your earnings on an Uber. Now, mind you, I think we only have 3 Uber drivers in Clarksburg because every time I've called, I've got the same guy, but that's a whole different story.
I didn't even know we had one.
We do. I should remember his name because I think I've had the same guy every time. So that's probably what I miss the most about Virginia Beach is some of the public transportation.
Yeah,
Uber
definitely.
Options, so.
Transportation is definitely different in the bigger city. Definitely different. So what do you think should happen with getting into something a little different here? Nuisance properties, abandoned houses. So, there's 2 big schools of thought with demolition or trying to fix housing to make economic housing. So which boat are you on here?
I think it just needs to be fair. Like, I know that they're trying to update the codes right now. I've talked to the city manager, some other folks, so some number that was crazy to me, Gary, and I don't know where it was coming from. I'm guessing it's like the fees, et cetera. Clarksburg is owed over $6 million right now. So, and I was like,
it continues to go up.
I'm like, well, I don't understand this. And I think a lot of, this, but a lot of people don't do research. They can't collect it because all of these people are out of state folks and they never sell or they'll will it to their children. So
and they put stuff in LLCs.
Yeah. I mean, one option, and I have to give Tiffany, the city manager, credit for this, was she showed it to me. And there's legislation to get, basically, we would pay the county 1% to kind of process everything and go through the assessor, go through the sheriff to collect. And that's so much money. And then I was shocked when I'd asked a couple of the current councilmen, I'm like, have you gone to? And they said that they did go to, I'm not going to name any names, to some of the legislators, and they said, I can't get that passed. And I'm like, that's the stuff that makes my blood boil, because I myself will take my own time off of work, away from my business, and go, and I know how to do it and lobby, not just our legislators, but everybody. You're not raising taxes, so why would you not want to pass that and give that $6 million back to the city? And I think that I'm going to give myself credit here. I don't hear anyone else talking about things like this, and it's making me crazy right now.
We're not even like halfway through this, and you've probably already won me over because you're so in depth right now. And this is what I'm asking people for. Like, I feel like I just want some depth, and nobody will give it to me. You're so in depth right now. So
it's that angry Italian side coming out with everything.
Well, like I said, we have a lot in common. I feel like I'm listening to myself right now. This is spectacular. So going through your campaign stuff, you mentioned losing places like Staley Pool and the YMCA. Like what do you think these places mean to the city, and how's that changed us? You know,
I mean, it's really hurt us. Like, I feel like we've lost identity, and you know, if I don't have the answer, I'll say it. Like, I don't know how to fix that. You know, we've lost a population decline, but I mean, as a kid, you know, we were out of the city for a little bit, and we would go to Quiet Dell. But I think for over 10 years, I coached at Staley Pool.
Oh, wow.
I had 85 kids at one point on our undefeated swim team. Give props to myself and Nana Nardelli and Mel Springer, the coaches there. But it was just like a magical place. And, you know, when I was living away and I found out the board had to close it, and there was crazy stuff. You probably know the backside of the road was going over.
Well, let me tell you, the last day it was open, if you go back and find the news story, you will hear my voice on the 911 call when the fireworks fell over and people got stampeded. So yes, I was very involved. That'll be my voice on the WBOY.
You know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm like, sometimes I wonder, like, did I just have this like charm child? I didn't grow up rich by any means. You know, my parents were struggling. I was the oldest one in my family, but like, I just had all these good memories there. And same thing, like, I worked from a young age. I started working at the YMCA when I was 15, and like, awesome. The Y was like a hopping in place. We had like the Duggar dances.
It was amazing. I made great when we were kids.
And it was an easy job. I would lifeguard during water. Like, none of my friends wanted the 6 a.m. shift on Saturday. And I was always money hungry. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's all it is water aerobics, ladies. And they bring me food and some lap swimmers. But I mean, I think that we just have to think outside of the box. And I know a lot of people are like against the Y, and I appreciate we have business people like Hal Green able to put some money back into it. But like, whatever it is, like, we don't have anything. And we all complain about, you know, kids getting in trouble. Well, like, they have to have something to do. Like, I don't know. And you have to spend money for that. And a lot of people don't want to. They say it's like a waste of their tax dollars. But like, I don't know. I'd probably say back in the day, this area of Staley where you're in was probably hopping, and there probably were block parties, and everybody probably knew everybody. But I would say
this was a rich neighborhood at one time.
Half the people in the street, like, they don't know anyone.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, honestly, I know a few people, but
it's sad.
People are just different today.
I mean, I know half of my neighborhood, but they're my relatives. I'm out of big family.
I mean, I know who people are,
but I mean, even like the older neighborhoods. So, you know, my grandma got sick. I moved in with my Auntie Geneva in Glen Elk when I was a freshman in high school. So we were always there. So I still always consider Glen Elk my home neighborhood.
Oh,
I knew every person there.
You're really old school.
And when I say every person, Gary, I knew the homeless people by name. Like, everyone just knew everyone. Everyone watched out for everybody. And you were porch talking, and we don't have that. And that's the part that makes me very sad. And I think you can only get that back by having these like community hubs and having things to get together. Yeah, I mean, the big organizations and things like I do with the Italian Festival is great, but like, it doesn't have to be that big and that much money. Just like, I know a couple of people's interviews, you talked about like the wine and cheese thing that Kathy Goings did.
It was great. I loved it.
We can, there's like,
did you ever go?
Yes.
It was nice.
Absolutely. I mean, there could be small scale things like that where you just maybe have local bands, and maybe the city gives everyone a couple $100 to like come and play, or whatever. I don't even know the going rate for a band right now, but just some event. And there's ways to make money out of it. I'm not saying just like frivolously spend the city's money, but we need to get together, and like, all of these nonprofits need to raise money. So like, I'm fine. It's a skill of mine to like work with people to help them get some of these sponsorships, people are willing to donate to causes that they are appreciative of.
Right. I mean, Kathy did an amazing job fixing up. It's actually the B&O's property, but they fixed that whole grassy area at the end of 4th. It was beautiful. It was such a nice little festival.
I mean,
and lots of people went.
we
it
talk
had to
about
be something.
We talk about community. I mean, like in a perfect world, I love going to Woolies and getting my fish and cheeses in the strip district and going to the cigar bar. I rent a space, my wife and I do right now, from Gene Papa in his big building up from the bakery. So I'm still over there every day for our business. I'd love to see Glen Elk turn in not just a little Italy, like a strip district. Like how we have the traffic from 50 and 79, but all of those people from the counties that don't have as much activity as us, like the Dodgers counties and even further out, they just go to East Point. And I understand that's B&O revenue for us, but like, how do we get those people? And I want to work with the Visitors Bureau, use my sales and marketing skills to like, we're not marketing Clarksburg.
We're not.
Like I mentioned his name earlier, but my Uncle Jeff does Connect Bridgeport. Like,
he's your uncle?
Yeah.
It's like my idol.
He's married to my dad's sister, Valerie, my Aunt Valerie.
She's like my idol too. You know, I'm trying to become a praiser right now.
Hey, I didn't know that. It's a good job. She's been doing it for a number of years. But I mean, they do so much, and their readership is crazy through Connect Bridgeport. And I'm like, it's actually making money for the city and for the Visitors Bureau. And I'm like, I don't understand. Our population is higher. Like, we're just missing the boat on a lot of things. And I just have a lot of questions for a lot of people.
So when I first started my News and Observer site, I was totally like stealing off of him. I was Connect Clarksburg for a while.
Hey,
then I started getting really big, and I was like, he's probably going to get mad at me. I probably should change that name. So, actually, because I lived in Raleigh all that time, the News and Observer is there. So
I forgot about that. I've actually seen that.
So it's funny you brought up bands too. Just so you know, I just joined a band. And I was going to
ask you on Facebook. I was like, "Is he serious?" Or
no, it's real. It's real, and it's professional.
I'm jealous.
Gen X Outlaws.
I'm jealous.
And, we're probably going to be coming to the Italian Festival board looking for a place.
Hey, we'll see. Hey, it's been a while. I took lessons from Pam Kroll back in the day, so I can carry it to him. But it's been a while.
Hey, if you can get us in the festival, I'll let you come up and sing a song with me.
Hey, there we go.
So what? I don't even remember if we talked about this question, but you started talking about Glen Elk, and you came up with something I'm very passionate about. I didn't grow up in Glen Elk. I grew up in Adamston, but I love Glen Elk. I think it's spectacular. I don't know if you know, I own 2 buildings. I do. Like 5 other lots.
I do.
And it's such a missed opportunity. I'll tell you what, before the last round of, what do they call it? When they got rid of Liberty.
The school consolidation.
Me and Jerry worked really hard trying to get them to tear down the Parsons and build a school there. Because
I didn't know.
Would that have fixed Glen Elk overnight? And think of the access.
It would have been a lot of traffic. You do have a lot of access over there. It's funny that you say that though, because
it would have been so nice.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably past repair. There was a beautiful bar in there in Glen Elk Garden. I don't know if you ever went to a wedding there. It was like the most. I'm wondering if it's still there. After college, before I got my first job with Eli Lilly, I was working for Philip again for a couple months, and I really think losing.
Oh, you worked there?
Yeah, my sister and I did for a little bit.
Okay, so. Henry was my uncle. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, no, I did that. I did not know. So I did a lot of chocolate covered strawberries there. But I think when Philip left, that was that last like big kind of heartbeat of Glen Elk, and no weddings over there for decades until DeMorris, where I had my wedding. I came back over.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
cool. Very cool.
But it's just that was a blow. That was a serious blow.
Yeah.
And I was hoping maybe the Robinson Graham would kind of like bring things back. My brother and his wife and children lived in my grandmother's house, and we still have it. And I can't let it go. We can't let it go because there's just so much heartstring over there. But, for a variety of different reasons that you're aware of, like Glen Elk has just not been able to recover. And thankfully there are people like yourself and the Papas that are putting money into it, but like it needs more love.
I really thought when the mission cleaned up their act, it would get better, and it just really hasn't done anything. At least it's not bad like it used to be, but it's just kind of dormant right now. So it's just sitting there.
Yeah, you don't have as many vagrants, but I think a lot of the business owners, I've even had people that, I'm not super close with that know that I'm running who have approached me that are on the other side of the 4th Street Bridge saying like, I want it moved. I don't know what the answer is. As far as
the mission,
the last
I have no problem with the mission.
The last I heard, it seems, I know a lot of people on the board there. I think that they're only doing veterans now for housing there.
They have 2 programs. They have the veterans program, and then they also have a faith-based program that people can't just come in off the street. They have to agree, and they check them for drugs and stuff like that.
And I don't really hear, there's a couple of times you hear some crazy people yelling, but I mean, I'm there every day. I
don't either.
I walk down and I get pepperoni rolls for lunch, or I go to B's, or I walk over to the Mexican restaurant, or go down to Mary Kay's. Like, I'm staying over there all the time. And I don't really see anything bad other than some of the folks that aren't taking care of the houses or renters. And
well, I'll tell you, nothing against the person I sold it to, but I sold that house on the corner of, right down from the Morris, on the corner of Clark and
I know 6th. Which one you're talking about. Yeah,
that's where my real estate office was. I wish I had never sold it.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
That's a good spot.
Yeah,
so
it was such a nice house. I don't know why I got
my Naughty's house is on Winnegar Street, and going closer to gourmet catering, and it just, I don't know, you just see the changes over time. And I think it's because some of those houses are so close together, and I don't know the answer. Really, and like, something else, there's a lot of things one thing I forgot to tell you, Gary, is I know it was like real controversial, and I can't remember where you stood, was the camping ban.
Yeah.
So
I made everybody mad over that.
Did you support it or not? I can't.
Yeah,
absolutely. I thought you did.
Yeah.
So I can see the benefits kind of either way. One thing I learned when I went to the circle though was, and I read through some of the notes from those past meetings saying that like there was supposed to be like a warning, I guess. So I found out that if they get that misdemeanor, they can't get HUD housing for 3 years. And I just found this out. So the folks that are running that program
was ours even a misdemeanor though? I thought it was just a city ordinance.
I was told it was a misdemeanor from the folks that were running that agency. So then what they had told me was that's some of these folks are clean, and they just could be homeless. Not everyone that's homeless, this, is a drug addict.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, but that's preventing them from getting that HUD voucher for 3 years. And then I also found out, and I was like, some of the stuff kind of blew my mind, was that we have more folks with HUD vouchers than we even have HUD housing right now. Really? So I'm like, maybe we need to, I'm not saying change the camping ban, but like we need to reevaluate this if we are preventing families that are just maybe down on their luck from getting a government program that's not even costing us money because we gave them a minor misdemeanor. I don't know what the answer is, but I hated to hear that maybe somebody maybe they slept in their car for one night and got this misdemeanor. I don't know. So this is what I heard through the grapevine. I want to talk, and I want to talk to the police, and I want to talk to the folks on council and come up with a solution for that, because we should take advantage of HUD and help these folks, especially if it's federal money that's not even coming out of our budget.
I'll tell you the secret about the camping ban. I don't think any people who would be in that category probably will watch my show, but it's really more of an intimidation thing than anything. It would never stand up if it was challenged hard enough.
Listen, I don't know. I know a lot of attorneys, and I'm related to some.
It would never stand up. It's not illegal to be homeless.
I would, and like we talked about, there's not really that many homeless. I just hated. I hated to hear that misdemeanor, if that's true, is preventing someone from taking advantage of the HUD program for 3 years. Because the other flip side,
because we want them off the street.
Like,
if we could put them in a house, that's spectacular.
And like, not everyone's bad. Like, people talk about slumlords, and I know you're into real estate. We just talked about it, but like, there are good people, and there are people who would accept HUD vouchers, on certain properties in certain places.
I personally never use the term slumlord. I don't use it.
A lot of people don't like it.
Well, just from being a real estate agent, it's a bad look.
It hurts everybody.
Even if I don't like an apartment complex or something like that, you won't hear me use that term, because that person might call me to list it someday, and then I'm going to be happy to. I'm going to be the marketer.
Not real good.
I can sell anything. I can sell anything, including that bad apartment building.
When we talk about sales, though, too, man, I think that's one thing when we're comparing ourselves to our surrounding cities. An advantage of Bridgeport, yes, it could change people's taxes. Is like, I want my property value to be higher. Like, that helps everybody. Like, our square footage property value is so much lower than Bridgeport, and we could change that.
And we've actually done well over the years. if you actually look at just the numbers, better than I would expect. The numbers actually don't make sense. I don't know if you ever had this conversation with Valerie, but we've actually done well over the years. Like it's continued to go up. Shockingly, like even 2007 and 8 when everything went crazy, didn't really hurt us that bad. Like we never had a huge dip, but I don't know if we can stay that lucky forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard too. Like I saw there was a couple like big homes, and I have some cousins looking. Like I know the Can home on Main Street, and I'm like, you have these beautiful 5-bedroom houses, and I'm like, someone got that for a steal. Like it's crazy
real
to me
estate
with that kind of square footage, like what you can get properties for.
Right, and real estate in Clarksburg is weird too.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
You can't really
sometimes
go by the square footage.
No.
Because we have these houses that sell for 20, 30, 40,000. But then like a couple years ago, a super nice house I listed on Musgrave Street sold for a crazy amount of money in like 2 days. Like if a nice one comes up, totally different ball.
There's no rhyme nor reason.
Yeah, totally different ball game. Like if a nice house comes, I'm telling you, I hope people don't disagree with me and question my real estate skills here. But if it's a really nice house and it's been kept updated, you can follow right on with those Bridgeport prices.
But I mean, I think your neighborhood,
Yeah.
like I'm not planning to leave anytime soon, but like I worry sometimes in my neighborhood, even though it's nice and people take care of it, and there's older people over there, like, did I overpay? Like it gets tricky.
And it could change overnight.
Yeah.
If the house across the street from you, all of a sudden
something bad happens
or something. Whole new ball game. Now you got an eyesore across the street from you. Now they've been very good in the last probably 10 years of getting rid of houses when they burned, but they didn't used to be. There was one across the street from us in Adamston when I was a kid that burned, and it just sat there for a long, long time.
One of my grandmother's best friends was over there, and I remember like going over there, and there's a couple houses I feel like in Adamston that were like burned houses that were there for my entire childhood. I feel like
people think that the government is so bad now. I think it was much worse in the past. We just had a better economic situation then, so it wasn't so obvious. Now it's more obvious. It's still not terrible, though.
But I think it's like social media, too. I was having this conversation with my wife, and, if we look at like per capita with like drug overdoses, and I'm like, is West Virginia and Clarksburg really that bad? Or is it just because like we're connected and we have social media and we hear about it more? Like when we were in Virginia Beach, there's so many more people and we don't know everyone. So you're not going to hear about these things. It's like word travels very fast.
And also from my perspective of my job, it's than what it was years ago, like during the whole opioid thing. We're 1 million times better.
I mean, that makes me feel better.
1 million times.
Did you hear that, Lena?
There used to be, this is not a joke, Rocky. We used to have an overdose with death at least once a week.
How long have you been in that role, Gary?
I've been there 20 years.
Oh, wow. So you've really that's a long time to see kind of the curve change.
And that's when I try to always give people a perspective. I've talked about it with a couple of these candidates. If you've watched it, do we have crime? Yes. But we have a spectacular police department, really good, like way, way, way above average. And the criminals we have, and some people get mad at me when I say this, they're not real criminals. They're really not. Like you lived in Virginia Beach. No offense. I don't know how much love you have for Virginia Beach, but there's
you've watched the news right now. I mean, there's curfews, there's stabbings, there's gunshots, and we don't have that kind of stuff. You're right.
We don't have violence. Like if someone wants to go jog in downtown Clarksburg, they may not feel safe because of the social media, but they are pretty much safe.
Yeah.
I mean,
you might have someone yell at you, but you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah, there might be somebody dancing in front of you on the sidewalk that you have to go around, that's high or something, but nobody's shooting you or attacking you or stabbing you. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't happen.
I mean, during COVID, especially, like I was back here and I would make the loop and I would go around Holy Cross and walk the graveyard. And
that's what I used to do when I lived over there. You live over in that area. Because when I lived on Elm Street, that was my workout.
For a big chunk before, my grandma was getting older and I moved back over there in Glen Elk, my parents were right there on Grant Street. So I've kind of always been really close to like St. Mary's. I'm at Conception, Glen Elk, in that kind of area. And then even before that, my parents were on Maple Avenue. So like we've always been like pretty close to town.
I mean, there's nothing cooler than walking at night downtown in the summertime. It's so much fun. There's so much shit.
It's relaxing. It's a good workout too. We got a lot of hills here.
There's always a lot going on. I love walking downtown. So I'm with you on that. I actually, lots of times I want to like move my cars around. My wife's always at work because she's a teacher, so I'll just walk to Glen Elk too. I mean, from here, it's not that far.
No, it's not that far.
It seems like it's far, but it's not.
It's not that far.
I'm not that fat. I can make it there. You know?
I would actually, when I was in better shape, I would actually ride my bike from Grant Street up to Staley Pool. I don't think I can make it up the hill right now.
I got you beat, son. Let me tell you right now. I told one of the other candidates this the other day. When I was a kid, we had a house at Lake Floyd.
Okay.
And we lived in Adamston. I would just ride my bike to Lake Floyd, and that was totally normal.
Oh my God. My mom would have had a heart attack.
I rode on the rail trail.
Were you going on 50?
On the rail trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better. I'm picturing you on 50.
I mean, the rail trail wasn't great.
I'm picturing like a 9-year-old on the side of the
probably
highway.
13.
All right.
You know, the rail trail wasn't great then, but it was started. Yeah. You know, it was the
I didn't
tracks
even
were
realize it went that far then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tunnel Hill. It goes right through there.
I remember when I was younger, I would park at Wolf Summit and just go to Salem.
Yeah.
The short route. Hey. Stop at the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, but I had to have transportation before I could drive. Then I got a license, and I don't know. I haven't had a bike since, honestly. Yeah.
I like to bike. I want to do the trails more when the babies get a little bit bigger.
Right. So let's talk about some business and economic growth. So what barriers do you think are frustrating for small businesses? I know you've been talking to people. So what are you hearing out there?
I think that there's not enough traffic, and it depends, I think what we know we all need is a storefront. My wife and I opened a senior non-medical home care business, and I'm in Glen Elk, but I don't need a storefront.
Is that in Glen Elk? I mean, I've seen your advertising, but I don't know where it is.
So we don't have it's a facility. So we're just doing in-home care. Oh, so I just need an office to meet with caregivers or sometimes the clients, but we have to do safety assessments. So we're going to people's houses, and it's a franchise. So we can cover the whole state because no one else is here, but our focus is Buchanan to Cheat Lake. But most of the customers are Clarksburg, Bridgeport, Fairmont, Morgantown area. But to answer your question, I mean, you need traffic. So a lot of folks running, other politicians, we need more housing downtown because that would spur more restaurants, more bars. And it's not just coffee shops. We need out of the box thinking. Like I said, I rent from Gene Pop, and I'm like, man, turn one of your buildings into a brewery. I'd love to see a beer garden in Glen Elk, and maybe you have a cigar bar right beside it. I was and that slowly have a hub where people, if it was cool enough, how can we get someone to come from a city that has tons of stuff like Morgantown to come to Clarksburg and just drive that traffic? Because I'm not going to, and you're in real estate, a lot of these folks that own property in Clarksburg aren't going to sell. So I'm going to have to do a lease build out.
They don't do anything with their property.
I'm putting a lot of money on the line, and I'm not going to do that with a high chance of failing at a business. Right. And it happens. It doesn't matter how smart you are.
Right.
So I think for me, it's just, maybe I like the different programs with, I like programs where if there's grant money and someone else has a skin in the game. So maybe you want to change your facade and you do half and they do half.
Right.
It's starting to fade a little bit, but, oh my gosh, it's going to be, I'm going to forget the name. Mr. Hickman, I believe, donated our sign for the Italian festival.
Yeah, you're right.
It would have cost us, I think, $15,000. And that wasn't a facade. It's just I think it's a metal sign. I don't even remember. But our office looks pretty nice compared to some of the things in Clarksburg. So I don't think it takes a fortune for that, and just slowly, build it up. And just little things I think just how Sam Medea did his sign for his law firm, little things add up to make a big difference. That looks great. So
you're right.
I don't have the answer, Gary.
So my brewery answer to you.
Go ahead. Are you for it?
I hope that's what happens to the Waldo. I hope that's the downstairs of the Waldo.
That would be pretty cool.
That's my dream.
That would be pretty cool.
And, nobody's going to believe the Waldo until they actually start working on it. But
yeah, I talked about results first. I was until people literally see
we've heard it too many times.
Yeah, a giant crane there. And
yeah.
I wasn't working for Congressman Mollahan. I was with someone else. But, when I was on Capitol Hill was when he still had the Vandalia Foundation. And I heard about that. And that was, 25 years ago?
He screwed us so bad. So, he's the reason the Waldo is how it is.
Not touching that.
You brought up a bad name.
Not touching that. But I think everybody's frustrated. And I don't think we should blame it on anyone. But we need something to happen. Everybody agrees on that.
So what do you think? Do you think there's any realistic industries or big opportunities that Clarksburg could pursue?
I think the problem is going to be like what you said, people either won't want it, or if it's a property owner, they're going to want to bring the city, just rake us over. I mean, we don't have that much property. So that's the biggest problem. We can annex more. The only thing I could think is maybe going out. I don't even know if it's in the city, to be honest, like past the Armory or somewhere like that. Like Bridgeport.
It's not, but it could be.
Bridgeport keeps going that way. So that's our big problem. Like, yes, it would be great. And I actually was thinking about this today. It's interesting you asked, like, what factory could we get here? I mean, I think, I'm big on ancestry and staying with, on all sides of my family with the culture. But most of the Italians and the other immigrants in Northview and in Glen Elk, they came here for the glass factories. They went to the coal mines on the weekends. Like, we don't have any of that. So there are not labor jobs. Right. So that's created, I think, everything, like you keep saying, a domino effect. It's created the drug problem to a point. It's created some of the housing issues to a point. It's why Staley Pool has closed. The why is closed because we've lost that population, and it's a big problem. And I think it's so much. It's past city council. City council has to work with the commission, and we have to work with the state and come up with a joint solution and play in the sandbox together, or it's not going to change.
Do you think, just playing off that a little bit, are there any unnecessary barriers that you think the city needs to deal with? I don't know.
The only thing I can think of, there's a business, I'm not going to mention names, there's a business owner, and I didn't think about this. It's not my idea. I'm not going to take credit for it. Is maybe like have a map of the city and you list who owns what and what the square footage is. So let's say that I do have a little bit of money in the bank, and maybe I thought I could pull off a brewery since we're talking about it. Like, even me having a big family, I know who owns some buildings, but I don't know the square footage. I don't know what they would charge. So someone that's like an outside business person wouldn't even know where to begin. So let's make that like entry a little bit easier for those folks. I'm not saying give them tax credits or TIF money or any of this stuff, but just make it easier to get the information, market and sell Clarksburg, like how easy it would be to start a business.
I'll tell you what, you hire me to be the real estate representative for downtown, and we'll list every building for free.
Yeah.
So what do you think could make more young professional types, not even just professionals, young people, how do we get them to stay here more? Me and you both left, but we both came back. How do we convince them to stay a little longer?
I mean, it's industry. I mean, that's what's really hard, and people are going to have to work together. And, there may have to be tax credits and different things, but that's not going to be from the city. That's going to be from the legislature, the governor down, and even our U.S. representatives. Because, at the end of the day, when I got that first pharmaceutical job, I told them I wanted to go between Charleston and Pittsburgh. It was so competitive because there's so few high-paying jobs here. I got offered my first job in Delaware, and I moved away. Like, it doesn't matter what we have. If somebody is offered a $20,000 a year job here and a $100,000 a year job in a city that has more opportunity, they're going to leave. So we have to make it more attractive. We have to sell it. There has to be things to do, or it doesn't matter what we have, Gary. They're going to leave. I mean, we did, because the opportunity wasn't here. I don't know about you. I did not want to leave. I never thought I would.
I've been lucky with my daughter so far. She just got her master's in business and medical administration, but she's working in Fairmont. Like, Fairmont sucks. I hate that she's even that far away. Like, I don't even want her in Fairmont.
Hey, speaking of breweries, they have Short Story Brewery. I can't talk right now. A little sleep deprivation with the babies, but my wife and I love it. And I was like, so it's how you go along the water in Reesville, you turn up. I don't even know what that road is. You make the left. We're talking about my aunt. She actually appraised the building. I think it used to be a barn, and it's so pretty. They have a spot right on the water in Morgantown, but I actually prefer this one in Reesville, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Barn?
Yeah, it's like
that's so easy.
And I actually run into Clarksburg people every single time I go there.
Think about all the places we have that would work.
So, Short Story, is the one. You owe me some free beer when I come there. Yeah. Nice little plug here.
Gene Papa's the one. He needs to do something in that Coke factory. That's the brewery right there.
There's so much potential, and they were old neighbors, and I went to school with them. I just saw in the news article, Angela Oliveria was big. Pickleball's blowing up, and I was like, maybe some of these factories, like, we don't have an indoor one now. Let's like turn this into an indoor facility. And they have some, Gary, in Virginia Beach, where like it's not cheap, but it's not like going to a golf like Pete Dye, where maybe you pay like a couple $100 a month, but you have a bar and you can play pickleball at 2:00 in the morning when you want to. So I just think she's like have crazy ideas like this.
She should love me. I got the money for the pickleball court.
Oh, did you really?
That was all me.
Angela,
well, Jerry helped me, but we pushed that hard.
Angela's great. And she's actually promised me some lessons, but I've been a little bit busy. So
I actually bought paddles and balls and I've never played.
Oh, really?
You're sitting back there brand new.
I have some from Costco I need to break out. I've played.
I got them at Sam's.
some friends at Virginia Beach who are really into it. So one day I'll start.
So do you think, I don't know. So one thing I've got into kind of with everybody is, do you have any plan on when you get in there? Let's say the road deal is done.
Okay.
I don't even like to talk about the roads. I've told everybody this. I don't want to make me talking about waterboard because I can do it. I can talk about it for hours.
You're fine.
So let's pretend like that's done. What's the next step? Because it's really wrecked downtown. Like it's worse than it was.
I mean,
3 years ago. You may have thought it wasn't good then, but it's much worse now.
I think we don't have I don't know when, hopefully it's done before this, like a fall festival, but like, I think it should be a big party. Like, let's have a ribbon cutting, unveiling, get the Davison brothers, Amici. Let's have the POTA.
Get the Gen X Outlaws.
Have some drink. There we go. Forgot. There we go, Gary. And let's just have a big party in town and celebrate and like help people out too. Like, we can have all these people that are craft vendors or people that have bars and restaurants, have them have the truck. So there's like limit the cost and maybe you charge those folks $100 and that's enough money to pay for the bands and such. So there's no cost and let's like celebrate. Let's have like, we all joke about it. Everyone hates the roads. Everyone hates the traffic. And, I had a couple of people running and say, oh, Rocky, it's so easy for you. All you have to do is talk about the roads. And I said, I don't even bring it up once. I do say that we had communication breakdowns and there should have been a project manager who kind of like informed people. Cause I do feel like everyone's blamed. This side blamed the water board, this side blamed the gas company. And I'm okay. Like if I'm on council, I'm going to say I messed up because I will mess up because I'm going to have these crazy ideas and they're not all going to work, but it's better than sitting there and doing nothing, in my opinion.
Let me break it down for you. The blame really is on the contractors. They're the ones that really have not done a great job.
But the
water board kind of is the reason.
But you know how it works though too. Like in my mind, and I have talked to some of these contractors, like they have to know where these guys are going the next day. So somebody knows that. And the fact that we haven't like been able to communicate that. And if it is the contractors, the water board, like let's hold them accountable and like find that out. People they're okay if you have to go. But like when I go from my house coming off of 19 and I have to go 3 or 4 different routes to get to Glen Elk, I'm like, this is crazy. What if I didn't know every back road and shortcut in town?
It is absolutely crazy. And the thing about it is people like me and you who have to go to Glen Elk will do it.
Yeah.
Other people will just say, screw this.
And
I'm not coming back.
I feel bad, like people are going to go and get their bread and their pepperoni rolls. But like you have a new restaurant like Bees over there, like, are they going to survive if it keeps being difficult? Is someone just going to go up the road to one of our other 20 pizza places we have in Clarksburg?
That's absolutely the problem. That's a huge problem. So are there any issues that, like, what's your first thing, I guess, is a good thing to go at? Is there any like easy thing that you already have in your mind? Like, this is the first thing I'm going to do?
I think it's what we talked about with the firefighters. And it's not just because I had the indoor. It just seems like a no-brainer. Like if they need equipment and they need some extra training or they need a safety officer, like that needs to be a priority.
Right.
I'll do that. And then when it's time to evaluate the budget, like we'll figure it out. The city has enough money that should not be a problem.
That is a great answer, Rocky. Thank you for that. And also, don't forget my police too. As many problems as we have with stuff.
They haven't. If the police are voting for me and you have problems, just let me know. I haven't heard anything, so I'm just assuming everybody's happy there.
Hey, either that or they're afraid of Chief Kitty. He's a very intimidating guy.
I don't know. He's always been nice to me.
He's probably told all of them not to talk to any of these council people.
He's always been nice to me. So.
I know some of them are afraid to talk to me sometimes. But anyway, great job. I think we had a great interview here. I'm going to take myself off the camera like I kind of do with everybody, and give you a chance to just give me your best commercial, man.
All right.
Give me a pitch.
Thanks for having me on. I could put on social media. I'm doing this. I was already passionate about it. My why has changed with my twins, Santiago and Stallone. I just want them to have the Clarksburg that I had, going to places like Staley Pool and having that community feel and being safe, walking around Glen Elk on my Auntie Geneva's porch. And I want to bring that community together. Yes, we have to do the unfun things and look at the budget and talk about, drug situations. But the bigger thing is just improving the quality of life in Clarksburg. So if you want someone who knows how to drive for results, who's had to do that with their career in sales and knows how to market and wants to improve the quality of life in Clarksburg, vote Rocky Romano, number 8 on the ballot for Clarksburg City Council.
Dude, you're good at this. Are you sure you never ran for anything else before?
Never.
You're just a damn good salesman.
I am a good salesman. I'll give myself credit for that. Doing that for a number of years. You're definitely
a hustler. You're a good
number
salesman.
Of years. So
it's definitely spectacular to pitch. Very good job.
Just angry,
I was kind of skipping around there. I didn't miss anything you wanted to talk about.
No, we hit all the big things.
Yeah,
we definitely jumped around, but I think we covered everything on the list and more.
I think we did too. Well, great job. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us on Observer Live. And I'm going to have hopefully at least one more candidate on here before it's over, maybe 2, but we are out of time, man. I don't know.
The clock is ticking.
I should have started a little bit faster. I'm glad I got you in here though, because
it's been fun.
You gave me the details I wanted.
It's been fun.
Maybe the best interview.
Thank you.
And Jerry are right here.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining us.